Good morning and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. So this morning, guys, I really want to talk about reciprocity, teamwork, working together, the ability to accomplish more with a team of two or more. And just driving and thinking and driving and thinking, and I am still decompressing my online dating experience. I'm regurgitating things that I feel like went really well. I am looking at some of the relationships, and I won't really say relationships, some of the connections that I made that I feel like were very positive. Some of the things that I feel like they were a total flop. Like, what areas can I engage in to look at the ability of growing and developing from that experience? And so I really was thinking about some of the relationship conversations and some of the things that were spoken of, and whether or not I feel like reciprocity is something that's important. And I'm speaking of that not just from a male and female relationship, but I'm also speaking of it from just parents to children and friendships. And sometimes I've learned that relationships are often broken down because somewhere in that process, reciprocity did not take place. Typically, when there is a breakdown in a relationship, there is usually someone in that relationship that is giving more than the other. And in most relationships, they are never 50-50, they're never equal. However, there should be, when you think about the scale, when the scale balances itself, it goes up and down. So there are some times that in the relationship, you may be giving more and the other person is giving less. There are other times when the other person may be giving more and you're giving less. But you should feel that process as you are working through the relationship. And over the past year or so, I have looked at relationships where I felt like, even if they were friendships, where I felt like I was the person that was always doing the calling. I was the one that was always texting. I was the one that was always trying to see whether or not we could get together. And if those relationships didn't yield that same level of response, many of them, I have just allowed them to filter right on out of my life. And to be honest, I haven't seen any place where I've missed that. And when we think about relationships and when I think about the online dating process, one of the things that I looked at was whether or not I felt like that young man would give me back what I was going to give to him. One of the things that I had to look at within myself, this had nothing to do with my ex and it has nothing to do with the men that I have dated, because it's me. I am a natural giver. And because I am a natural giver, oftentimes I will give even when it has not been requested, when it has not been asked, when it has not been sought after, because that is my natural state. When you are a natural giver, you have to make sure that you connect with people who are not going to, one, take advantage of that opportunity, and two, who are going to be able to appreciate what you do for them. And and when I say not just what you do for them, because they're going to appreciate that, but also appreciating who you are. So many relationships are built upon what a person does, what they can buy for them, what they can offer them, how they can gain something from that. But how many relationships are built on just who the person is? If we could not afford to do anything but go to McDonald's or go to Chick-fil-A or go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get us go to churches and get us a two-piece and a pepper, how comfortable would you be with that relationship? When I think about some relationships that have a breakdown, from the conversations that I have had, and I'm not an expert. However, for those of you that follow me on a regular basis, you will know that my degree and my profession is in human services. So it's in serving humans. It is in the psyche of people. It is looking at the makeup of people and how we operate and why we operate that way. What does our environment create for us? And one of the things that I've learned is that people oftentimes do not appreciate who a person is. They only appreciate what a person does. When you find yourself in relationships that people do not appreciate who you are, those relationships typically are going to break down at some point. Because if they only can see you for what you can do, what do you do when you can no longer do those things anymore? Or what do you do when you have been in a relationship for 5 or 10 or 15, 20 years and you're tired of doing those things? You might be the one that has carried the load for the most part in the relationship. And if you have done that over an extended period of time, you're going to eventually be like, dog, I need somebody to help me. I'm always the helper. And when we talk about relationships, if it is a masculine man, he's going to want to do that. A conversation that I had with someone most recently, and I may go into a little bit more depth on this individually. I might come back because I did a series about Daddy's Girl. And I think that this is a key component. One of the things that I shared with a young man is that a woman who comes from a healthy household with a man, she's looking for something completely different from a woman who comes from a broken household or did not have a male figure there. If she has a strong male, positive, let me put that keyword, a healthy and a positive male viewpoint, she is going to look for something that is totally different from women who have come from broken homes or did not have a male figure in their life. And I'm saying that because some of the things that this young man would do, he thought that, there would be a great applause to it. And it was nice, but for a woman who myself come from a healthy male household, it did not move me like it would move someone who did not come from a healthy and a whole male home or perspective in life. Because there are many people who didn't come from a positive male home, but then they still have a respect for men. But I think that that foundation is different when I look at the components that my father was able to put into me. It hits different when a man comes to me because I'm looking for something different. I'm expecting something different. I have a different mindset about certain things. And I'll do an entire video on that. But mainly this time, I wanted to talk about teamwork and reciprocity. Because if you meet someone and you all are able to come together and you are able to actually help one another, you're going to find that that relationship is going to be stronger than one where one person is carrying most of the load for that relationship. And, I even find this to be even in my parenting perspective. Like sometimes I have to talk to my children about the fact that just because your mom can do it, don't let her do it. Just because your lady can do it, don't let her do it. Just because your man can do it, don't let him do that all the time by himself. Find a way that you can contribute to that other person's life. So it might be something as simple as making sure that you cook dinner at least once a week. It may be something as simple as you making sure that you take the trash out without her having to ask. It might be something as simple as for those that are in a relationship and those that are married. And this is really for the ladies. I'm going to close with this. Just based on my conversation recently at the barbershop. Ladies, when was the last time, if you have a good man and you have someone that is committed to you. He loves you. He takes care of you. He makes sure you're provided for. He assures that your car is working fine. He assures that you got a roof over your head. He makes sure that you go out to dinner with him every now and then. He treats you well. You got a nice rock on your finger. When was the last time that he just came home and you had a day of massage and spa treatment set aside for him? When was the last time that you took a moment and massaged his feet? When was the last time that you had him to just get out the shower and say, baby, lay across the bed and I'm going to give you a massage right quick? When was the last time that if he stands on his feet all day in a warehouse, when was the last time that you just laid him down and said, let me massage your legs? Because I know that it's hard standing on that concrete floor all day. And I'm not talking about anything sexual. I'm talking about reciprocity. I'm talking about letting him know that he is appreciated. When was the last time? And if it has been a long time, maybe you should make today the first time that you do this for a long time to come. All right, I'm going to close with that one. Reciprocity, guys, teamwork. You're going to get way more out of a person that you are giving back to than you will for someone that you're only taking from. And maybe this is a message for someone to share with their partner without you having to say it to your partner or to your husband, to your wife. But when was the last time that you let the person in your life know that you appreciated them? Maybe make today the day that you start that as a new practice. All right, y'all. If you like my videos, click like, share it with a friend, and I would love for you to subscribe. Remember, reciprocity and teamwork is going to take you much further than doing it by yourself or just being the receiver. Have an awesome day, y'all. Bye.